Hi guys, how are you? Hope you're all doing really well. So right now I'm nervously waiting for my Step 2 CS results to come back. I hope I passed. Unless I did some major effing up, I think I should be okay. I'm hoping I should be okay. For now, I'm just studying for a Step 2 CK. And yes, I got a new haircut. I was feeling a bit low, depressed. Step 2 studying can do that. And I always feel like if you get a new haircut, things always get better. At least in my head. I don't know. Do you guys feel like, getting your hair shampooed by someone else or, getting a new haircut, does it, make you feel better? Or, some people wear makeup. I sometimes wear makeup to a test and it just makes me feel better. I'm like, if I feel better, I will do better. I don't know. Maybe it's just in my head. Anyway, so all this Step 2 CK studying is making me miss my travels in Europe. You know how most people make their Euro trip either in high school or in college? I did that in med school. So this is how it worked out. I didn't really plan for it, but I went to American University of the Caribbean in St. Martin, and we had the opportunity to do some of our core rotations in London. I did pediatrics and surgery at Wexham Park Hospital. It's Heatherwood and Wexham Park Hospital in Slough, Berkshire. I really, really loved it. I was really fortunate enough to be exposed to the type of medicine in America and in England. And I know that medicine's pretty much the same, but there were quite a few differences. And I'll talk about that in another video I'll make later about my pediatrics and surgery rotations. But what I want to talk about today was my travels. So I was mostly in London, so I used Heathrow Airport for most of my travels because I lived 10 minutes away from Heathrow. Slough is like right next to it. So some of the tips I have is that if you're traveling alone, just always be aware of your surroundings. There were, except for 2 trips I took, for almost all of them I traveled alone. And don't be afraid, because I was afraid. My first trip I took alone was to the Stonehenge, and when I was going to Salisbury, I was like, oh my god, I've never done this before. I'm in a foreign country, and I'm traveling by myself. I was a little scared, but, people were really nice. I met some people I traveled with when I went to, surrounding areas in Salisbury. It was a lot of fun. So that was where my boost came from. So don't be afraid to make small trips and initiate your brave journey through Europe from that. But that's what I did, and it really helped me gain confidence personally. And then I made small trips here and there to Wales, and I went to the Doctor Who Museum. That was really fun. And then, before I did this, I used to make these day trips, and I think I pretty much went to all the museums in London. Yeah, I think I pretty much went to all of them. Yeah, so that was how I started off. And then I got brave, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to venture off to the rest of Europe. So this is what I would do. So first I would go online and look for tickets. I always like to plan ahead, and our school actually required us to give them 2 weeks notice before we left the country. So we had to plan it ahead of time. But if you planned about a month ahead of time, you could usually get really good deals. So always look online for cheap flights. There are some flights that, have super cheap tickets. They're kind of like Spirit Airlines in the States, but you cannot have any luggage. Like, I remember when we went to Barcelona, I had my carry-on bag weighed less than 8 pounds, and that was that's the maximum you could take. So it was 3 or 4 pairs of jeans, underwear, toiletries, things like that, and that's it. Another tip is to travel light. Make sure you travel light. Don't carry, your whole armor of accessories, handbags, and things. It's really not necessary. I feel like some of my friends would travel with a lot of stuff, and it was just harder because I had to carry all that mess around with them. And I had my backpack, and I would just stroll along with all my crap in it, and not have to worry about where I was leaving things. Another thing was I didn't mind it. So but I used to travel by bus quite a bit. I would take Megabus, and there's a whole army of them. If you just Google it, you can see so much. And so I would just get the ticket where I left Friday night, and then Saturday morning at like 7 or 8 in the morning I was there. So that's what I did to go to Paris. That's what I did to go to Amsterdam. And the tickets were both under £50 each for a return ticket back to London. So, traveling on a budget, that was super awesome. When I went to Amsterdam and Paris, I think with the exception of Rome, everywhere that I went, I stayed in a hostel. And, if you're not comfortable staying in a co-ed or hostel, they always have the Christian hostels. I did that when I went to Amsterdam because I was scared. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get stuck with a bunch of potheads. No offense to you guys. It's just if I get tested positive for pot, I lose financial aid. And I really cannot afford to go to med school without it. So that's what I did, just because I was a chicken and I was really scared of, being in Amsterdam by myself. But other than that, most of the hostels I went to were really safe. I met some really awesome people, some really cool girls and guys, and we traveled a bit together. So it was just a nice bunch of people, and everyone there was there to travel, and it was a really awesome experience. You get to meet so many people, and you learn about the different countries they're from, and their just unique perspectives. When we went to Rome, we used Airbnb because everything was full, because I didn't plan that ahead of time. It was only a 2-week notice. Hostels are really not bad. I was scared to try them, but, it's really not... Well, maybe just in my head, I thought it was in a safe place, but it's pretty safe. You just have to be careful, which is why I always carried a backpack. I never left my things anywhere. So because I traveled light and I had a backpack, I always just had it with me anywhere I went. If I traveled, to the markets or, just walked around the different museums, I always had a backpack. And some of the museums, you have to check in your backpack because I guess it's a safety hazard, or you can knock off a painting or something. But other than that, you can pretty much go anywhere with it. I'll attach some pictures from all my travels and see if you guys like that. But yeah, this is pretty much it. Don't be afraid to travel and explore. If I can do it, anyone can do it. I was a little chicken and I was scared of traveling alone. And, if you're traveling with a group of people, it's even so much fun. When we went to Edinburgh, it was a group of 10 of us and I loved it. Edinburgh is a beautiful place, especially in the winter. When you have the polar lights. Are they polar lights? I can't remember. I think they're polar lights. Northern lights, that's what they are. Sorry, oh my God. Yeah, the northern lights are beautiful. Just the whole experience of traveling, it just puts things in perspective. Like, you are just part of this really giant world. You and your problems are quite insignificant when you think about the world as in general. And then, it makes me feel like we're all pretty much the same. We all want the same things. We all need the same things. The same things make us happy. The same things make us sad. So we're just part of this big giant world, and it just, makes us a big giant family. Sorry, I'm really going off topic, but yeah, if you guys have any questions about my travels, what I use, if to things I did or did not do, just leave a comment down below and I would love to answer them for you. Alright guys, good luck studying, and I'm going to go back to my boring life of studying for CK. Bye!